Good morning, America. This is Dillygaff speaking. Now, it'd be surprising to know you can build these things out of a rough 2x6 piece of lumber. Now, I'm going to start you on the journey, and I'll show you how it's done. First step involves using a joiner to get some good square edges on this piece of wood. Now, if you don't happen to have a joiner, you're going to at least need a table saw to make it look half decent. After getting your wood all squared up, make 2 equal cuts using the fence to set as a gauge, and take a piece off of each side. This will be used for the backrest portion of the cell phone holder. After cutting the long pieces off, now you set up your saw blade at a 45-degree angle. We're going to make some angled cuts, and then we're going to reattach using screws and glue. I adjusted the fence in order to get good uniform cuts because I'm going to use this one length of wood to make 2 of them cell phone holders for the table. Using screws and glues, attach the 2 pieces that are cut at the 45-degree angle. All you're doing is taking the same piece of wood and just reorienting it, so instead of it being a straight board, now you have a perfect 90-degree square there. Now apply that glue liberally. Whenever we do get this joined together and clamped down, it will run out of the wood. That'll let you know that you've put more than enough in. Better to have too much glue than not enough, because we could always fix it with a piece of wet cloth and a belt sander later. After allowing the glue to dry overnight, I am going to use a 1/2-inch drill bit to drill through the bottom so you can put a charging cable through while using your cell phone on this balancing device. As you can see here, it is obvious I used a wood drilling bit to drill through, because unfortunately you can see the tip of it imprinted into the wood. But hopefully we can sand that out later on in this video. Now I'm trying out with 2 different models. Basically this runs just to see how production goes. Anyway, I'm taking the 2 pieces I cut off the original length of wood and I'm laminating to get them together by gluing them and then putting them into a vise. I'm using some scrap wood to not put the vise marks into the wood. Next, I'm using a drill press to drill holes through the wood, in which I will use a screw to hold the backrest in place. Throughout the process, I continue checking the depth to make sure I am not going to go all the way through. Next, I check the 2 pieces of wood that I glued together last night, making sure they have a good and secure bond. These will also be appropriately cut, and they will have holes drilled into them for assembly. Using the backrest as a gauge, I use that to set the depth of the table saw. I also have the table saw get a little bit higher because I'm now going to cut grooves into the back of the cell phone holder. Now with the grooves cut, this cell phone holder is ready to be cut in half. And you'll wind up with something that looks like these. I originally intended on using machine screws because they looked better and would make the backrest more stable. But unfortunately, while trying to drill the larger hole for the head of the screw of the bolt, I end up blowing out this piece of wood. This will cost me. But I will see if I can still salvage this. Now I end up taking a standard wood screw, running it through to begin assembly of the backrest and the cell phone holder mount. Now I'm going to glue the piece that blew out together using standard wood glue and sawdust and glue to fill the hole. Now to pack a hole with sawdust and glue, just like packing a pipe, make sure you line the hole good with the glue, and then you just start packing the sawdust in. Pack it so hard that the glue runs to the top, and then pack more sawdust and glue in. Repeat till you get to the top. Now it doesn't look pretty, but we'll see how it works out. Now we need to give this overnight to dry, and we'll see what we have to work with in the morning. Now I don't have a set of clamps to do this right, nor a jig, so what I'm improvising using a set of pliers and rubber bands, as you can see in this photo here. After allowing to sufficiently dry, and using a razor blade to cut what I can and some sandpaper to try to get it level, I'm going to see what the router can do as far as cleaning up that little mess we had. Now there's the hole after running the router through it. We're going to do some sanding and we're going to see what we have left. I mean, it ain't perfect, but in this shop, we can see what we can do to cover up our little mistakes here. Now, after using the belt sander and the router, this is what we have. Now, this is the cell phone holder that had the huge blowout there. As you can see, we were able to correct that blowout by packing that sawdust in. Now, I know that's a pretty ugly eyesore, but all consideration, I don't think it looks too horrible. The other one, which we didn't have that huge blowout, I'm actually going to put a walnut stain on it to see how well I can make it look. And here you go, the finished product. Learned a few lessons while doing this, and I'll just have to see what I can do to make it go better next time. I've been taking notes, tracking time, documenting everything, so I'll see where this takes me, and maybe I could find a way to make these better looking and potentially get these to the market. So thank you for joining me today, and if you like the video, please feel free to subscribe, and I'm going to come up with more woodworking projects.